usual suspecting.
Yeah, I'm sounding good in the mic. Ain't no delays, nothing like that. We on time with it.
That attention that you seeking gon' get you whack. I trained in the trenches, y'all niggas be off track. Matter of fact, they not built for the combat. Niggas rap, they raps, they be all cap. That attention that you seeking gon' get you whack. I trained in the trenches, y'all niggas be off track. Matter of fact, they not built for the combat. Niggas rap, they raps, they be all cap. Even though they hate, I know they still feel me. My mental and my aura be on some other shit. I don't respond to that sucker shit, nah. Cause them corny niggas gon' realize who they fucking with. In the jungle, everybody play their part like they supposed to be. That's why I play it safe and don't let no one come close to me. All that tough talk don't really mean shit to me. Y'all really don't know my history. I was cutting up grams the same plate I ate off. I was focused on that paper like I was made off. I penetrated the block, you won't believe how I came off. Ballin' off the baseline, nigga. That attention that you seeking gon' get you whack. I trained in the trenches, y'all niggas be off track. Matter of fact, they not built for the combat.
No.
Niggas rap, they raps, they be all cap. That attention that you seeking gon' get you whack. I trained in the trenches, y'all niggas be off track.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they not built for the combat. Niggas rap, they raps, they be all cap.
Catch me Lower City, end to end. Been out the trenches, a decorated veteran. Rap bodies, I got 10 of them. I'm immolated and respected by many men. I train in combat like it's a sport. Then talk about it on the war report. Who really want it? My team can really hold the court. Lock it down, roll the blunt, go back and hold the fort. Roasting pheasants, bottle of the old port. Salute the soldiers from the new to the old York. This a little something for your backpack. You should put this on when you off track.
That attention that you seeking gon' get you whack. I trained in the trenches, y'all niggas be off track. Matter of fact, they not built for the combat. Niggas rap, they raps, they be all cap. That attention that you seeking gon' get you whack. I trained in the trenches, y'all niggas be off track. Matter of fact, they not built for the combat. Niggas rap, they raps, they be all cap. It probably sound like I'm talking about you, but if the shoe fits, you might as well lace them up too. If it don't apply, nigga, let it fly. And when I start cutting up, the wounds gon' burn like iodine, nigga. I ain't lying, shit. I've been grown since 12, I've been ahead of my time. My rap sheet is longer than niggas' rap sheets. Your catalog can't even compare to mine. I'm a warrior at heart with a Spartan mind. And you can't box me out how you think you can spar with mine. I penetrated the block, you won't believe how I came off. Ballin' off the baseline, nigga. That attention that you seeking gon' get you whack. I trained in the trenches, y'all niggas be off track. Matter of fact, they not built for the combat. Niggas rap, they raps, they be all cap.
It's a usual suspecting.
It's a usual suspect thing.
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 Mic check, mic check. Did I not put myself in the stream? How long have I been how long have there not been any volume on? Somebody let me know. How long has there been no volume and no mic?
It's a usual suspect thing.
It's been like that for like what, 5-10 minutes? Wow. See, I didn't even add myself to the stream. I'm sitting here talking the whole time and not realizing I'm not even on the show. I'm still backstage, y'all. I'm having the whole show backstage. I guess y'all got to see the graphics and whatnot. I guess y'all got to see the graphics and whatnot. I'm here asking questions and whatnot, and nobody's responded. I'm like, what's going on? Okay. Maybe it's just, you know what I mean? Maybe my questions just ain't hitting. Huh? Maybe my questions just ain't hitting, but it is what it is. I'm going to have to redo my whole shit then. Right? I'm going to have to back it on up from the beginning. Actually, no, we ain't going to do that. We going to
It's a usual suspect thing.
continue to talk about this. Shout out Nisha 9 Stars. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, Queen. Wow. So, okay. All right. Well, we're going to start off the show once again. TWR presents the Wake and Bake Boxing. It's your favorite, your most hated Oddfella. Salute to the usual suspect 6. Salute to the whole TWT and the LDBC. Yeah, we in here. The audio was back right and correct, and I am on the stream. Salute. Smash that like button. Link is in the description because you fit the description. We got the new combat tool bag autumn wear out and available. Make sure y'all tap into that. Support our brothers. You know what I mean? Shop usual suspect6.com. Once again, y'all see in the corner of the screen, we got the QR code. If y'all on your computer, your tablet, or whatnot, take your phone and you can scan that, and it takes you directly to Shop Usual Suspect6.com. Make sure y'all go tap into that. But before I was talking about this whole situation with Bud and Errol Spence, I know y'all are tired of hearing this, and I know we're impatiently waiting for this fight to be announced. You know what I mean? There's a lot of reports, one-sided reports. We're hearing one-sided reports about this guy doesn't want to fight this guy, or this fighter is scared to fight this fighter. And let me tell y'all, now that I'm back on the stream and y'all can hear me clear, let me tell y'all that just not is the case. I mean, now look, I'm gonna take it out of the fans' perspective and take it and bring y'all into the businessman's perspective, because that's where this problem lies with the Errol Spence Bud Crawford fight. The problem lies in the business. And give me a chance to explain, because I explained to y'all months ago that one of the reasons, the biggest reasons why this fight hasn't been made and announced is because Terrence Bud Crawford is caught up in the web of Kinahan. You see all these faces. that are caught up in the web of Kinahan. Bud is one of them. But look very closely at all these faces that are caught up. And I didn't make this. You know what I mean? This is from the old MTK Global site themselves. This is their picture. I just added the web. But all those people that you see pictured on this graphic are involved with the MTK Global.
It's a usual
Involved in the wild web of Kinahan. Right there. You know what I mean? I told y'all that was a major issue drawing up this fight. Because Bud decided to make Kinahan his advisor, allegedly, in 2019. 2019, 3 years ago. Huh? But here's the new situation, because they got around that, y'all. They got around that. They got around that situation with Kinahan, but here's the new situation that has arisen, right? So now that they've gotten around of how to deal with the Kinahan situation, people need to understand that Terrence Bud Crawford is not coming into this fight as just the fighter. He is now coming into the fight as the promoter too. So he has to put his promoter hat on. He has to be the businessman in the situation too. Now, reports have said that Bud Crawford has agreed to not taking no upfront money. Bud Crawford has agreed to taking no upfront money, meaning that the only money he's going to be paid is in the back end. What is back end money specifically? Back end money, when we speak of back end money, we talking about the profit shared, the profit revenue coming from pay-per-view, from pay-per-views, from ticket sales at the gate, and from merchandise, and from concession, the food and beverage. You know what I mean? That's where the revenue, the back end revenue comes. Because all that money comes after the fight. It's all tabulated and calculated after the fight, right? There might be most situations, there's a set purse before the fight. And the promoters have to put that money in escrow. And then the money has to be presented in full at the fight. But that doesn't speak to the back end money. Once again, Bud Crawford has agreed not to take any front end money. No purse. He want and we have fanboys out here saying that he don't want to fight, but he's not taking a upfront purse. When's the last time you done a job? You know what I mean? And there's a question of you not getting paid when you're a private contractor, right? And you don't work under that company. A lot of times you want your money up front. But he says, you know what? We're not doing that. You got me on the situation with Kinahan. I gotta yield. So I'll take the back end money. But as a businessman, when you asking for saying I'm gonna take the back end money, don't you think Terrence Bud Crawford promotion is entitled to see the books? Don't you think when that money comes in, the co-promoter of this fight, don't you think they're not entitled to see the books as well? See how much pay-per-views were sold? To see how much people came into the arena? To see how much people bought the all-beef Nathan hot dogs? To see how much people bought the pint of beer? Because Bud's supposed to get 35% of that. But y'all niggas is saying that he's not supposed to see the books. He's supposed to get 35% of what? What they tell him. as a businessman that don't make any motherfucking sense. And y'all need to come out of your fanboyism.
Suspecting.
Bud in this situation is in every right as a businessman, as a co-promoter, to see what the books look like over there when the money comes in, when the numbers start populating, right? Because we got to know the real number of what 35% is. We got to know the real number of what 35% is. The books of the results, yes, not PBC's books over the. So, what is we talking about, Combat? What is we talking about? Nobody's talking about books of the past, except you. Except you. If you're a co-promoter, if you're a businessman going into a business venture with another businessman and he doesn't want you to show you the books, there's a problem. You don't get that? But you want to talk about the past. You have a businessman that has agreed to not take no money up front, not to take no guaranteed purse, which is a traditional thing in boxing. We know this. Purses are set so the fighter gets their money. There's no situation with the promotional company screwing their fighters after the money comes in. We know this. So we see a situation where Bud made some wrong business associates, so now he's forced to not take any upfront money. But due to that consequence, doesn't mean that as a businessman, as his own promotional company, that he can't see the books when they happen, when the fight happens. That don't make no sense. So I can see why this fight is being delayed. I can see why this fight's being delayed, because as a businessman, as a promotional co-promotion, you would need to see that. Once again, to identify what exactly 35% is. But on the same token, when you're on the PBC side, can you trust Bud? A man that's been associated with the wide web of Kinahan. Can you trust Bud to look at the books? But unfortunately, you're gonna have to, PBC. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to, Steven Espinoza. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to, Al Heyman. Because don't sit up here high and mighty about Bud's past experiences or past advancements with Kinahan, because a lot of y'all PBC motherfuckers was there too. Huh? We gotta have that same energy. If we have it all this energy for Bud, there's a lot of guys from the PBC who've been working with Ken. Look at Shelly Finkel over there. PBC worked with the devil twice. MTK Global twice. Huh? But ain't nobody want to say nothing about that. There's no way they're denying them financial transparency of what he's grossing and netting. If there's no way, then give me a legitimate reason why there's the holdup, other than your fanboy reasonings that a man's scared. Two undefeated boxers in the welterweight divisions are scared of each other. Two Hall of Fame boxers are scared of each other isn't a legitimate answer to me, bro. I'm trying to teach y'all the motherfucking business. Huh? Behind the scenes, what goes on? How men with money think. He want to see the books and words because they be saying that what I'm getting paid on paper. He's trying to get the max bag. He's trying to get the max bag. So are you trying to say that he shouldn't try to get the max bag? Are you trying to say this black man should just get crumbs? Are you trying to say this black man deserves to be fleeced? A Hall of Fame fighter who's bringing a lot to the table himself with accolades, 38-0, knocked out all of his opponents at welterweight, and is one half of the biggest fight in boxing. And we're crying about trying to get the max bag. What is we talking about here? Do you not know, once again, he's not just a fighter in this situation, he's a promoter. He's the businessman. So as the promoter of his own company, he has to see all those promotional details. Do you not understand that? Or should he neglect that responsibility and neglect that right and only get what? A 20%. Theoretically. Just to make the fight happen. What is we talking about here? There needs to be fairness and leeway on both sides. And now I'm at the point where I see the man ain't taking no guaranteed purse. Which shows me his intentions that he wants the motherfucking fight. If a man ain't getting no purse and his contemporary in Errol Spence is getting the bag up front. This sister knows what she's talking about. The queen has to see the books when you in business. He ain't just coming in there as a fighter that's signed to the PBC. He's coming into this fight as a co-promoter, y'all. A co-promoter that needs to see where the money's coming from, how much money the networks are getting, and what his exact percentage is, nigga. Didn't take 40, now taking 30 didn't become the mandatory. I don't understand what you're saying right here. I don't understand what didn't take 40 mean, because that's irrelevant. From the multiple reports out there, the man is taking 35% of the back end. No purse. You still have yet to mention that the man's not taking a purse. Huh? All that said, bad biz. Okay, so now you're a businessman, Combat Tool Bag. Just the other second ago, you were saying that he was I thought he was scared. Now it's bad biz. Bomac and Bud in control over their own biz is Florida fed, is what I'm saying. What is flawed with the business that they're trying to do? Why are we nitpicking with the amount? Why are we purse watching Combat Tool Bag? That's besides the point of nitpicking of their business affairs. The point is that they need to see the books coming in as co-promoters. And they should be able to do that. Indeed, smash that like button as you fall on there. We talking Bud Crawford. We talking Errol Spence Jr. We talking about why this fight, the real reason why this fight hasn't been announced. Not no scared fighters, but business. But business. Not the purse, it's Bomac being in control of Bud's biz, and this is just what we hearing. Okay, so if you want to talk bad biz, we gotta have that energy about bad biz all across the board, because PBC has been doing some bad business all year. All year, they've been doing bad business. And this is bad business for not getting this fight across the line, being that PBC is the one in power combat tool bag. They're the one in negotiation power. Do you know what that means, combat? They're the one that is making the offer. They're the ones that can make the concessions, combat. Do you see what the PBC has laid forth for us this year, combat? Nothing but hollow pay-per-views. Starting off at the beginning of the year, we had a pay-per-view with Uncle Ortiz and Charles Martin in a all what I think Ortiz against Charles Martin. Then we had to follow that up, we had Thurman versus Barrios. That's bad business, my nigga.
Usual suspect.
Don't you sit here talking about nitpicking with Bud trying to get the fight over the line, not taking a purse, and you crying about saying, "Oh, this bad business over here." But nobody wants to talk about the consistent bad business, these networks and the big companies. You just want to pick out the little black guy. You just want to pick on the little black guy over there because it's cool. It's easy to roast them niggas. But the big conglomerate that runs the show, that got all the dates, that ain't giving fighters no fights, nobody ain't got nothing to say about them. You niggas slobber all over the PBC, and this motherfucking Saturday, I will be watching Eubanks and Ben. That's what I'm more interested in. Not no goddamn Sebastian Fundora and Carlos Ocampo. That's what you want, nigga? That's the business you talking about. That's the good business you talking about, nigga. Yeah, we talking good business. Ain't seen no motherfucking footage, no motherfucking lead up, no all access, no 24/7 from this Showtime, a premium cable company, a premium cable network. Don't have no footage of the champ's return to motherfucking boxing. And they expect us to pay a pay-per-view ransom for that shit. And got slop on the undercard. And you talking here, combat, you talking about good business and bad business, nigga. Do you know what business is? But you want to pick on this little nigga.
It's a usual suspect.
It ain't taking no goddamn purse.
It's a usual suspect thing.
But don't want to come at the big network. I bend up the knee. Salute to the Queen 71. Smash that like button as you fall on in. Wake and bake boxing tings. (4:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Y'all know what it is. Supreme Beats Boxing Talk. Bullshitting on the Beltway. I'm just saying, last year was 60-40. 60-40 is a fictional number. Your Errol Spence even came out and said, I was just joking with that. And you still putting it up in the chat.
It's a usual suspect thing.
It's a usual
And
suspect.
let me respond to this as well. He said he agreed to everything yesterday. Today, it's no purse, just back end. And do you know why today it's no purse, just back end? And do you know why the day before yesterday it was no purse, just back end? I'm gonna learn you something about the little intricacies of business. Because when you fuck up, this is some of the consequences and situations you can put yourself in. Now, unfortunately, this is my opinion. This isn't fact, but this is my educated opinion. Now, Bud can't take a purse. Bud is forced not to take a purse in this fight because of his recent associations with Daniel Kinahan. Therefore, Bud is reduced to taking money after the fact. Now, how will that money be transferred to him? And when will it be transferred? Is another question. What type of money will he be getting? Will he be getting traditional money? Combat. We have to understand his hands are dirty to the situation where the company working with him, i.e. PBC, doesn't want to dirty their hands as well, so to speak. So how do we pay this man without paying him? Do we utilize cryptocurrency to pay this motherfucker in the later on in time when the numbers come up? Fine, we'll pay him in crypto. Bud's theoretically accepting some Bitcoin, but Bud needs to know, as the promoter,
It's a usual suspect.
the co-promoter, how much crypto is he entitled to. When the hot dogs and the beer and the tickets from the arena and the pay-per-view numbers all total up, and all the bills have been paid to the networks, the fee to the arena, and all the other little people in between. And once that profit comes up, Bud needs to know what that number is so we can get his 35%. And the 35% of that number, theoretically, they can convert it to Bitcoin and then send it to Bud. But Bud needs to know that motherfucking number. As a businessman, not as a fighter, as a businessman that's going into a business venture with another company. It's that simple.
It's a usual
That's simple.
suspect thing.
It's a usual suspect thing.
So this isn't. It's irrelevant what you're saying about it was 60-40 last year. You need to understand that there's a sanctioning, there's a freezing of assets going on when you're dealing with or associated with somebody like Kinahan. Do you not understand that, Combat? Do you not understand that anybody that's associated with Daniel Kinahan in depth, there's a chance that their accounts will be frozen? Do you not understand that anybody that's associated with Daniel Kinahan, you cannot leave your country? Shall I say any more? Look at them. Look in the middle of your screen right there. Roy Jones Jr. Why hasn't he been able to be in the training camp of Chris Eubank Jr.? Why? Because he's heavily involved in that MTK Global issue. He's now been put on the list among motherfuckers that can't fly out. But then you say Steels, why is Bob Arum? He's there. Well, Bob Arum is a conversation for another episode. I mean, but you know what I mean. But you can understand where I'm going with Bob Arum. I mean, any part of the choir, and that's all I'll say about that. Now we're supposed to believe Bud gets no guarantee, and Espinosa says if there's any affiliation that there's no fight at all, just no upfront. Yeah. See, you're not familiar with things that happened in the past, bro. How business works in the past. Let me give you a quick story, Combat Tool Bag, about the boxing business. Okay? Let me give you a quick story. Do you realize some years back when Canelo was picking the low-hanging fruit? Remember when he moved up to light heavyweight? I think he moved up to light heavyweight to fight Sergey Kovalev. You remember that combat? Remember when Canelo moved up in weight to fight Sergey Kovalev to take Kovalev, I think, had the WBO light heavyweight champion. And Canelo went up to take that. Do you know Kovalev was in a bunch of legal issues? He had that situation of sexually assaulting and physically assaulting that woman out in Big Bear, abusing the woman's dog as well. So that was an open case. He also had the case ongoing of him assaulting a flight attendant on the way back to Russia, right? So Combat Tool Bag, Kovalev had two open cases during the time that he agreed to fight Canelo. Do you know how much Kovalev's purse was? Combat Tool Bag. Combat Tool Bag, do you know how much Canelo's purse was? Excuse me, Kovalev's purse. Do you know how much Kovalev's purse was for the Canelo fight?
It's a usual suspect.
Kovalev's purse for that Canelo fight, you would think it would be one of his biggest paydays to date, right? He's fought some good names. Jean Pascal, that was a big fight in Montreal. You know what I mean? Andre Ward was a big fight back to back. But you would think that the biggest money fight on Kovalev's career would be Canelo. Kovalev got paid zip zero, stingy with De Niro. Right? Nothing. He didn't get a purse. And who knows what he got on the back end. But that's a fact. You can research that up, Google it yourself. Kovalev got no purse for the fight against Saul Canelo Alvarez. Absolutely nothing. You know why? because he was marred in all type of legal issues.
It's a
It was
usual
probably
suspect
contracted
thing.
that the money
It's a usual suspect.
the money generated or supposed to be his purse go directly to his legal fees and to the money that they was gonna settle outside of court from this woman that he abused. Because I've yet to hear anything about that surface again. So maybe she got her money and it's good. But Kovalev, with that dark cloud above his head, was limited not to get no guaranteed purse. This is the same situation, Combat. That dark cloud is over Terrence Bud Crawford wherever he goes. Wherever he goes. You don't understand why a promotional company like Matchroom Boxing, Eddie Hearn, months ago said when he was asked if Bud Crawford became a free agent, would you sign him? He was like, fuck no.
It's a usual suspect.
Because 007 agent Hearn already read the writing on the wall and knew what was going on. He was already cooperating. He said it on camera. It's going to be hard. It would be too difficult for me to get a fight from him. You mean it'd be too difficult for you, the so-called promoter of the year, the best promoter in the world, to get a fighter that's a pound-for-pound talent, that's a Hall of Famer, that's undefeated, that has a belt, that was undisputed at 140. You can't get him a good fight? And you don't want that type of guy on your roster? Combat Tool Bag, you don't think that's fishy? And the reason why that's fishy is because of the stink
Usual suspect thing.
and the cloud
It's a usual suspect.
that hovers over the head always of Bud Crawford, because he's caught up in the wide web of Kinahan. Caught up in the wide web of Kinahan. And anybody that's caught up in that wide web of Kinahan, it's hard to make fights nowadays. Because businessmen, people with money do not want to be associated with being sanctioned or having any chance of having their accounts frozen. Do we not understand that? If you're a business that's operating, that you don't want your shit frozen, because a freezing your assets could be your demise forever as a business. So understand where that's coming from. Combat Tool Bag. No purse.
It's a usual suspect thing.
When you have these type of things
It's a usual suspect.
looming over your head, you have to take concessions. And you have to agree to things that, in order to get that fight, you might have to agree to things that you necessarily wouldn't otherwise. But y'all know what it is. I've been on here a good hour. I know true the first part of the show, I didn't even add myself to it. Let me quickly actually touch on this. We'll probably get into this later on this afternoon, 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Bullshitting on the Beltway with Supreme Beast, Boston Talk, Cadillac and KG. It is fight week. Eubanks kind of been. And I think it's wild that so many people are invested and think kind of Ben has a chance to just go in there and knock out
It's a
Chris
usual
Eubanks Jr.
suspect.
A man that has been on a tear of late and kind of been, but who has he really knocked out? Has he knocked out anybody with a massive, a world-class chin that, or even a guy in the welterweight division with a notable chin that's durable? No. He's been blowing through a bunch of C-class opponents, guys that have been blowing up 140-pounders and blowing them out the water. He took out a Chris Van Heerden that was already taken out by Spence and Boots Ennis. When we sit here and ponder the thoughts that this man can actually knock out a legitimate middleweight who hasn't been hurt before, in 34 fights, Chris Eubank has never been hurt. He's taken 2 L's, and in 2 of those L's, he was never hurt in 2 of those L's. But niggas is supposed to lead me to believe that Conor Benn is going to stop and knock out Chris Eubank Jr. when he's fought all the way up at 168 against the best competition. Some of the best competition, underline, some of the best competition at 168 and still hasn't been hurt. But he's going to get knocked out. That don't make no sense to me. That don't make no sense to me. But what makes sense to me is the gimmick that Chris Eubank Jr. is putting out. He's really embracing the fact that he's the heel in this situation. He's really embracing the fact that he can be the villain. He has a lot of people fooled that he's not being professional in this fight. The clips of him eating buckets of fried chicken. I watched the Make It Count episode, which is, once again, I say was greatly done. Great production. Great content in lead of a pay-per-view fight. Great content in lead of a pay-per-view fight. But in that content, we see Chris Eubank in his grandiose house ordering food, chocolate milkshake, big bacon double cheeseburger, side of onion rings, and it looked like a big bowl of salad. But if we notice, we only see Chris Eubank take one bite, and he doesn't even swallow. But these same niggas will come to me and tell, man, he's unprofessional, bro. Man, he over here eating burgers and shit. Nigga put the burger in his mouth and didn't even swallow. But they swear up and down. They swear up and down that he ate the whole thing. That they got the footage of him eating the whole thing. Onion rings and the milkshake. Chris Eubank Jr. is so witty. He poured out the ketchup on his plate in the shape of a 60%. He spelled it out, 60% on his plate, so he could dip his fries and onion rings in the 60%. Chris Eubank Jr. now has 60% baby t-shirts. Yeah, didn't swallow, pause. 60% baby t-shirts. So he's embracing this moniker of 60% and turning this in and capitalizing on it. Merchandising off of it. My brothers and sisters. How can we hate on that? But one thing we need to hate on is the fact that your boy Conor Ben is showing weakness. He's showing weakness in the fact that they offered Chris Eubank this fight, but they put all these stipulations on it. They the one that put up all these stipulations on it. But yo, I just realized it's 8:30 and I done run past my time. Junior the Truth is live right now. We gonna go on over to there. I was supposed to finish up at 8:15 and I'm here cooking, but I salute everybody that passed on through. Big up Combat Tool Bag once again.
It's a usual suspect.
Support. Our resident boxer in the LDBC. The Combat Tool Bag line is in shop. usualsuspect6.com. Support. All proceeds will be going to the betterment of my guy Combat Tool Bag's career. Let's go. Let's head on over to the Punch Junkie morning show with Junior the Truth once again, 4:15 p.m. Eastern time. I'm gonna be back over there bullshitting on the Beltway with Cadillac Red and KG. So be on the lookout for that, most definitely. You know what I mean? Yeah, most definitely. It's the usual suspect thing. It's your favorite yet your most hater, Oddfella. Salute to the whole. LDBC. Hey man, the week is on.
Bounce. You can't knock the hustle. Bounce. Yo. Fox, I'm part of the hustle. Skinny nigga, but I'm built with all of the muscle. You can't knock my hustle. I'm good in the paint. I score on you. They can see it from the nosebleed. It's official. You might need some tissue. I've been in the trenches. You call it the hood. I call it survival of the fittest. Like my beef. I can see the world for the taking. It's in palm reach. And I'm married to the game. I never had cold feet. I'm comfortable in my position, even if I was in a hot seat. No mirage, this is my life like Mary J. Blige. I used to rap about money and cars. Word. Now I talk about supplying my circle with jobs. Word. But everybody ain't built for the hustle. They got their hands out. That's what you call being lazy and comfortable at the same time. But they shit about to get blown like a landmine. So respect my hustle and get yours at the same time. Bounce. Cha. Bounce. Cha.